Hey, what's up? This is Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger,
And Jeff Barrazzo, Trent Fernandez-Mercer from Dino Thunder.
and you are watching Team Venom Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Team Venom's Pop Culture Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host, Connor Franks. We are the Gruesome Twosome, the Fantastic Two, and this week we're going to be talking about Reed, Ben, Johnny, Sue, Herbie, and Franklin, I guess, as we talk about Fantastic Four, first steps, and 4 things that we want to see from that movie. So, Connor, how's it going, man?
It's good, man.
It's like I built it all up, and then I was just like,
it's good.
How you doing?
Nice to talk to you again. Totally haven't just recorded another podcast 20 minutes ago.
You can tell when we've done that because the energies are like more up.
The first podcast, no matter what
sleepy.
the first podcast, no matter what it is, that we got to build ourselves up, and then by the time the second one comes around, we're at that level.
That's it, yeah.
And then towards the end of this podcast, we're ready to sleep, and that's how we do it.
That is true.
Because
that's what I was looking for.
2 old men.
Yeah. But since we're doing this as video, it suddenly occurred to me that I should have prepared better. And I do actually have props. But, yeah. So, that subject is about Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm assuming that you've seen all the trailers and like the look of it, because it does look great. And
it does.
I know people have picked faults with the size of the thing because they're saying, oh, the thing can take on the Hulk and blah, blah, blah. But the thing was always that size in the initial comics. He grew over time. It's like he ended up as a big beefy bastard. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's something that just happened progressively. But initially, it was a shell based on his normal human-sized body.
He was like quite a bit thicker than a normal person, but not to the level that you think of when you think of the Thing.
Yeah, and when the Hulk was around first, the Hulk wasn't this massive behemoth like he is now.
No.
He was
slightly larger.
They managed to just get Lou Ferrigno painted green to play him in the TV series because that was the expected size.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, things that we expect or want, 4 things that we want. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. So it's very much alluded to that Sue is going to be the head of the family, right?
Yeah.
She's going to be, to the shock of some people, she's like, oh my God, what do you mean Sue's the most powerful? Oh, spoiler alert, read a comic book. I would like, at some point, probably, I don't know what's going to happen in the movie, but hypothetically, something along the lines of Doom takes Franklin.
Yeah.
Or Doom or Galactus is like something goes for Franklin. Because, with Franklin being in that, we're very much going to have, like how in Infinity War and Endgame we had the women empowerment scenes.
Yeah. But we just get Sue on her own doing it.
I think we're very much going to get like the mothers don't fuck with a mother sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would love to see just a little Easter eggy teaser of Malice. Not enough to like, oh my God, because I don't want them to do this like, for the last 20 minutes of the big fight scene, she's Malice for so like she's somehow turned, and then all of a sudden, no, she's back as Sue. Like, but just have that little
Easter egg. Yeah.
A little Easter egg of like, oh, that it could at some point.
Yeah.
Just a little thing.
Yeah. Like she could be losing her shit and getting angrier and angrier, and then you get like a force field shaped like a mace or something while she's got like a grimacing look on her face. There you go. Done. That's your Malice Easter egg. Yeah. I like that.
Just I think as well, it'd be cool to see, because then you've always got that speculation for the future MCU where it's like, oh, Malice is in there.
Yeah.
That Malice is officially buried in there in the MCU. Will we see it? And I think those kind of things are always cool when it's like, oh, we might see that. We might. Even if you don't, it's always cool to have that possibility.
No, I completely agree. So as I say, I have props, but I'm only actually going to use one because I can't see where I put the other ones. So the first one, the thing that I want to see is we're both very much big fans of the Ultimate comics from way back when, and we've done podcasts about how great the Ultimates were. Ultimate Fantastic Four is Volume 1 especially is one of my all-time favorite graphic novels. This is, to me, this is my perfect way of retelling the Fantastic Four origin. You know how they do it in here, and they have like the things of like you get all the body horror elements with like, I don't know if it's going to pick up well on the camera, but that's an elongated reed fried because of the thing. And Sue during the incident is transported to the Mole Man's lair because she was invisible, and Mole Man kidnaps her because he wants to make her his bride because he's just a creepy old pervert and stuff like that. And I don't think we're going to get the origin as a real time part of the story. I think we're going to get its flashbacks. So, and I'm fine with that. But I hope that it shows things like them fighting the Mole Man, and the Mole Man, especially the Ultimate version, is what I want to see. That's my pick for this. I've took a long time getting to that point. But yeah, Mole Man and his giant monsters. I mean, look at this. Like you got the first thing they were fighting, and the first thing they fought in the original comics was one of the Mole Man's creations as well. But in the Ultimates, you got this big weird dragon thing that they all worked out how to use the powers against because Ben wanted to hit something because he was angry because he'd been turned into the thing. Reed's wrapped himself around it. Johnny set it on fire, and Sue tries to cut off the oxygen to it at some point, I think. But that might no, she doesn't. This is before Sue joins them. My brain is not what it used to be. I'm gonna have to read this after this. You know, this is tonight's reading now. That's just how it is. But yeah, so Mole Man, giant monsters, some form of flashback to that as part of their origin in the first outing is Fantastic Four. That's what I want to see. Your next one,
nice. I want to see a accurate depiction of Galactus. That's a
very easy pick.
It is.
I agree.
To be honest, that's probably what the number one thing I want to see in this movie.
Yeah,
an accurate depiction of Galactus, not angry space cloud.
So I went to see Rise of the Silver Surfer at the cinema, and I still don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be.
It's not. I enjoy the Fantastic Four movies. I do.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Compare them to like the MCU level of spectacle. They don't hit, but in the same sense,
they're fun. You know, in the same sense, that fun dynamic.
Exactly, like the original X-Men trilogy, I love. I don't care about First Class and onwards, but like I love them. But in comparison to what we've got now, they're not that level. But I still really enjoy the Fantastic Four movies because I can watch them for what they are, not for what they should be. Right? We don't talk about the other Fantastic Four movie, but
no. Although I saw that at the cinema, and I think there was redeeming parts of that film, but not enough for it to be a good film.
No.
But we'll get that. That's a discussion for another day because I don't want to get into that now.
we could do a full pod on the worst Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's next week's content. There we go.
There you go. Boom. You're welcome.
So yeah, comic accurate Galactus. It's fair enough. I think Rise of the Silver Surfer. They were hindered by what they could get on film convincingly at the time, because I don't think that. We've had all things like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Honey, I Blew Up the Kids and those sorts of movies where you've got the body growths and they never quite look right. So I don't know how they would have been able to present a giant humanoid Galactus without it looking cheesy at that time, because obviously it's 20 years ago and technology wasn't what it was.
I would have argued somebody dressed as Galactus in front of a green screen with a model of the Earth in front of him.
Yeah. You know, I could have seen that too, but I don't think that at that time they would have made it look good.
No, there hasn't been a very good depiction of Galactus in anything, really, in my opinion.
Even the Lego Marvel games are like, oh, we've got this impending threat of Galactus, but he's also a running joke as well.
Yeah,
because we've made him a Lego planet and thrown that in his face and he's fine. Given us a really good Galactus and then did that.
So it's very simple, but it's I think we will get it, and I think it's the one thing we have to get as Marvel fans. I can understand if you're very much a casual fan. You know, if the movies are your only source of Marvel, for example, and the shows, etc. If the cinematic universe, then Galactus probably isn't a huge thing to you, which absolutely fair play. You should, you shouldn't have to read every bit of canon. But I think for the wider Marvel fans, I think it's needed.
Yeah, fair enough. For my second pick, I'm going to go for it, much like what you've done, because the thing is, some of the obvious ones that could happen in this movie, that look like they could happen in this movie, we're fans. We enjoy this. If they do the obvious ones and it's stuff that we want, great. Like as you said, Galactus would be perfect. Should be perfect. One of the things I'd like to see is the Council of Reeds, and I think that it logically can happen in this film. And I want to see Ian Grufford. I want to see the one from Pat Forstick, but I want to see him acting more makerish in the future. But that's a different podcast. And I want to see Jim from The Office as Mr. Fantastic again because he was great. Do you know what I mean? He was a really good Mr. Fantastic. And since we've already seen a Council of Kangs at the end of Quantumania, a Council of Reeds shouldn't be that difficult. In fact, a Council of Reeds could explain why there's no more Council of Kangs. The Council of Reeds could have just sorted them out.
What if? Because I firmly believe that the end of this movie will essentially be Galactus devours.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see
they managed to get away. Doom somehow trails them. Then the whole reason for Doom
got the Fantastic Four rocket going into the MCU at the end of Thunderbolts.
And then the whole reason Doom becomes the big bad guy is because he wants revenge on the Fantastic Four because it was their job to save it. Yeah, he lost whatever they.
He lost everything.
Literally. So I think that's how we're going to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Or maybe the start of
Doom killing the Council of Reeds.
Doom taking out the Council of Kangs.
Yeah. And
because they could use
murders them all.
They could essentially use the same scene from Ant-Man Quantumania, where they're all there.
Yeah.
And just add Doom blowing the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just something. And then because then you can, you can have the wrap up of the Jonathan Majors thing. And then you could realize because the whole thing of like Kang was meant to be the next big bad. So you could have it been like, oh, Kang, you thought Kang was the next big bad, but really all along it was going to be Doom, and this just shows how bigger badder you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, Council of Reeds would be cool.
And I think because I was going to say I've got the perfect way for it, and realised I never actually said it because I distracted myself. I think the easiest way to do it is just have it be already there, not like because a lot of times in movies they give us too much exposition. Spider-Man movies, the Homecoming trilogy, has been brilliant because they didn't bother with that. They were like, we're not getting bogged down in the Uncle Ben thing. He's not going after the robber. We're just not doing it yet. Don't worry about it. Like everyone knows it by now. We don't need to do it. Like on the flip side of that, how many times have we seen Bruce Wayne's parents get shot? They even did it in the Joker movie. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like DC rely too much on that sort of like backstory. But so I think enough people will be fine with Reed just opens a doorway in his lab that takes him through to the Council of Reeds. And it's literally him going to ask for advice because of Galactus. And that's all the scene needs to be. They don't need to do it. You know what I mean? It could be a one-off cameo and it could be...
They could do another scene where he goes back in because things are getting more serious. And that
he goes back and it's gone.
It's just not... It's nothing but flames.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, I want that more. So your number 3 pick.
I don't see why we couldn't get this. Because obviously this is very much set in a different universe, right?
Yeah. I think I know what you're going to say.
I want to see only as sporadic appearances or like a little thing, just some other universe heroes.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't it have to be fucking Tom Cruise's Iron Man.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Doesn't have to be that level of thing, but just throw in like a random actor being Spider-Man. It doesn't have to make sense. Yeah, because you could have a whole like random little scene of Johnny and Spider-Man doing a race.
Annoyingly, that was my third pick.
Yeah, but
some
that's
form of Johnny and Peter Parker interaction to set up.
Yeah,
just because the Johnny Storm in the trailers is the perfect sort of Johnny Storm to be hanging around Peter Parker.
Yes,
and it's that 60s sciencey vibe. It's the sort of vibe for that era's Peter Parker. But, you could have the fucking white shirt with the sweater vest over, and we could go the full classic Stanley Steve Ditko look for Peter Parker. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. We probably should have discussed this before we recorded because I haven't got a number 3 now. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That would be brilliant. That'd just be great. I've got a replacement. We're good. So my number 3 then, piggybacking off yours. See, do you want to see just a few of that sort of era of heroes and stuff? What I'd like to see is an Avengers that could have been in not the Tom Cruise's Iron Man, but the 90s rubber-eared Captain America.
Yeah.
And like the dodgy bouffant hair Doctor Strange and Lou Ferrigno's Hulk and an Iron Man that doesn't take his mask off so they don't have to worry about who's playing him or that sort of thing. And maybe get friggin' Hank Pym but de-age him and have him as Giant Man in there. But like comic accurate costume. That sort of stuff. Like, so you've got the 60s sort of era Avengers and you know what? Throw Richard E. Grant as Loki in there as just like for a picture of them fighting him or just a little clip or some snippet. Could just be on a newsreel because they've shown that there's loads of newsreel things talking about Fantastic Four anyway, isn't there, in the trailer? Yeah. So as part of that, have like just a random vintage Avengers and Richard E. Grant's Loki having a battle on like just part of the newsreel to go, like when they're doing the yes, we've seen the Avengers come and go, but Fantastic Four is forever, and all that sort of stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, just like a random throwaway Easter egg, but one that's just like is still a really good homage at the same time.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So you're number 4.
Yeah, I've totally got number 4. I just keep thinking of like Spider-Man and John.
Yeah, I know. You just sort of ruins it, doesn't it, as soon as you get out of that web.
Yeah, all the interactions they've had in the Ultimate Universe. That's all I keep thinking of now. I think what I want to see is a couple of non-global lethal villains.
Yes.
I think we need to see that. I think there needs to be, even if it's just in like
a show reel.
In the start of Guardians 2 when they're fighting
they taking on that big slug thing.
Yeah, the big squiddy thing. Yeah. And like Groot's doing the dancing.
And that's it's literally the opening credits, isn't it? It gets wrapped up in,
have a scene. It don't have to be the opening credits because I don't obviously they've probably got to get the powers and all that stuff, but have like a time lapse of just a show reel of them beating 3 or 4 villains.
Yeah.
And then it can finish with the camera's on a TV and it's like the Fantastic Four saved the day again. And then it zooms out, and then that's where you could have like the scene that we've seen in the trailer with
Galactus's shadow.
No, you could have it where it's like the TV, and as the Fantastic Four says that, and then it zooms out, and that's where you've got Ben Grimm with Herbie doing the cooking thing because it's just on the TV because that's established now, and it's. I think cool. The Fantastic Four have such a good catalogue of villains, not necessarily to the Doom level and the Galactus level, the Silver Surfer level. They've got a lot of street level, I think is the best way to describe a lot of their villains that I think should get a rub because in the MCU, they wouldn't really be.
No, because the MCU's too too grounded in realism for the
I know.
start of it. I know they've now got out of the window. You know, most of that's gone out the window, but it started off as a realistic progression. And like you say, with the Fantastic Four ones, their characters are very much made for the page.
Yeah, but also I don't think it's a term MCU's too real. I think for a lot of
I mean, for some of the characters.
yeah, I think not even that, but I think a lot of the Fantastic Four, we'll say average villains. I think in terms of where the MCU heroes are, they'd be very easily beaten.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a good way to show a little bit of love to the Fantastic Four's history of villains.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is a direct lead into the next massive thing for the MCU. So I think just a little showreel or montage in there somewhere where we get to you can do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing. You point that's blah blah, that's blah blah. That's
yeah.
I can lean over to Hannah and really piss her off, being like, actually, see that guy there, his first appearance was in Fantastic Four issue number 72. It could be that guy. And she can be like, yeah, is it? Fuck off, let me watch the film. Because that's what it's like to watch a Marvel movie with me.
Yeah, same. You know what I mean? Like, so
we should watch one for the first time together because it had happened and we'd just turn to each other like,
that would be awesome.
No words said, we're both just like.
Can you imagine if we'd have gone to see Thunderbolts together and watched that end credit scene?
Oh my god.
That would have been it.
Yeah.
Okay,
been in the bathroom rocking stalls.
So my last one is similar to your last one. I want to see a selection of classic villains, but from the cosmic side of things.
Oh.
Because I love Marvel's cosmic history and stuff, and a lot of that was down to the Fantastic Four and the Fantastic Four comics that I read growing up. Like I can remember reading the comics where the Fantastic Four turned the Skrulls into cows and stuff like that, just because, and weird stuff like that they did, and like it basically set off the whole Kree Skrull war on Earth was because they turned some Skrull agents into cows under mind control. Like, and that was a 60s comic, by the way, folks. That's not like a modern dark thing that they did. It was just a 60s thing that they thought, yeah, it's fine. It would just, hopefully someone won't eat them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and hopefully no one tries to milk them. But that took a turn. But
genuine question.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Silver Surfer is going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going to see any other? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see Terrax, for example. Terrax is one of my favourites. Yeah. I'd love to see Terrax as there, and maybe Firelord or the actual Norrin Rad Silver Surfer as well. I mean,
I just think, like, are we going to get like a Herald of Galactus in there, like, as well? I don't know, obviously Silver Surfer, but like, just another one who can come and basically be a preacher of like, haha, guess what? You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Someone like Airwalker.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Someone like that, because I think Airwalker would also fit that vibe for the movie.
Yeah.
But someone like that to do the whole, when Infinity War, my mind's gone blank. All I can think is
Ebony Maw with the blah, blah, blah,
yes, your children of Thanos, blah blah blah. I feel like someone like that to announce Galactus. I know Silver Surfer always appears first, but I think if it could get to a point where it's like,
well, yeah, and I said that's part of my fourth point. I'd like to see I'd like to see those sorts of level villains, many of the Heralds of Galactus and stuff. Again, Terrax is one of my favorite villains, just because he just looks ridiculous for a start, and yet he's such a beast. Like you say, Airwalker's a great one. There's one that we mentioned last week when we were on about the female Silver Surfer, if it's either going to be Charlotte Bell or Nova. But what I'd like to see them do is reference Norrin Rad going rogue. I mean, they might even put him in anyway. They might have Norrin Rad going rogue and leaving Galactus in the film Anyway.
When do you think we get Nova, by the way?
Oh, as in the actual Nova Corps,
like,
Nova, yeah.
Like
So,
Nova.
I mean
I know,
Silver
yeah, I know,
Surfer,
yeah,
because they got confused and decided to just name them that too.
Well, we were meant to be getting like a Nova series or something, and then they got scrapped, didn't it?
Because we got the Nova Corps, but we didn't get like the actual human rocket Nova. We got like the build up to it, and you'd think that after the first Guardians, because they reference it as well. It's like in the first Guardians film, they have that whole thing where they're at the end battle, they're referencing not needing ships and all that. And like, they're going to give them the Nova helmets, and they're going to design all that, and cool. And then it's just Thanos fucked them up.
Yeah.
So you're not even showing it yet. Thanos just Xandar's gone. Thanos happened. Don't worry about it. Just like But
I'll tell you another thing I'm hoping for in the movie, though.
What?
Obviously, the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts, we got the scene with the Fantastic Four ship coming into orbit.
Yeah. Oh, follow up from that.
Or their point of view.
Yes. Or we see that ship landing in front of, and the Thunderbolts going out to it, and it opens up, and Doom just steps out and smacks one of them. Just immediately. Can you imagine that? That'd be beautiful.
Or it ends with like the Fantastic Four ship like going into orbit, and then it's like from the front, the camera, and then you just see the Quinjets coming down.
Yeah.
And then black.
Yeah, yeah.
And by that I mean the screen, not Nick Fury appears.
Yeah.
But that could also happen.
It could also happen, to be fair. I want to see that. You know, I said about the throwback heroes and the throwback Avengers. Wouldn't it be great if David Hasselhoff was there, Nick Fury?
That'd be incredible.
Because that 90s Hoff Nick Fury film was both amazing and horrendous at the same time.
Oh,
I've got it somewhere on a DVD that I totally didn't copy and distribute on eBay multiple times when I was younger, and therefore get cease and desist from Marvel. I said I totally didn't. So that's
totally not in an A4 frame in your living room.
I can't comment.
Hasselhoff as Fury would be great.
Yeah. That would be, especially because then if that Fury is on the ship with them, let's say that's one of the few stowaways that they get from their universe. And they go down there, and Peter Quill turns up because he's on Earth now, and he just gets so starstruck. Fury's like, I don't know what you're on about, kid. And actual Hoff turns up.
Peter Quill's on Earth now.
Yeah,
How is that? How are they going to address that to the MCU? Because there's no way they're not going to have Peter Quill. Like, don't get me wrong. I think
and they said the legendary Star-Lord will return. That was the end thing on the Guardians. Yeah,
that's what I mean. I think in Doomsday and Secret Wars, we're going to get a lot of big deaths, right?
Yeah.
We can have another pod where we spectate who's making out alive of that. But if we're going with the thing of the new Guardians are in space, Quill is on his own on Earth. If a Doom appears on Earth, I know you've got all the other Avengers, Thunderbolts, and blah blah. But I wouldn't be surprised if his death makes the Guardians join the battle.
I think he'll be the one to summon the Guardians. So I think he'll be, you know what I mean? I think he's been put on Earth purely so he's ready to send out the distress call to them, to bring them into Secret Wars, and because there's not been a lot made of what the future of the Guardians of the Galaxy is, so that could be it. They could turn up for that, and then they might. I mean, I know Batista said that he doesn't want to play Drax anymore. But what if they do this as a way of writing off Drax?
That's what I mean. I feel like if they said to him, "We've got 2 movies, 2 big events, Infinity level, Endgame level. Well, there's going to be a lot of people who don't make it out.
And we'll write your character off. Here's
2 contracts. Yeah, here's 2 contracts where you're in these 2, and we write your character off in the second.
Yeah.
And here's another 5 movie deal. Which one are you signing?
Yeah.
I feel like Drax, because although that he's turned more comedy compared to like the Destroyer,
Yeah.
I think Drax's goodbye would be like, I can imagine him holding off like a load of Doom bots so anyone else can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's
Like I feel
literally
like
kind of like the Ronan scene in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
yes,
You know where he's caught, where they drunk dialed him and they turned up at nowhere, and he's just there trying to take them all on. But you give him that moment with like you say, a load of Doom bots and
of
actual
him to
Doctor Doom.
and have him actually get to have this 2-3 minute fight scene
Where
while
he's
everyone else is
wiping the
escaping,
floor with
where
the Doom bots.
he is being Drax the Destroyer and not
and then comes
silly
face
Drax.
to face to actual Doom at the end, and that's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
And then you get Mantis screaming Drax at the same time, and there you go. It's over.
Drax's head rolls across the screen, and just in the background, Drax, look out!
Oh man, it'd be great.
Right, we've waffled, man.
We have, and we left Fantastic Four 10 minutes ago by mistake. So thank you everyone for listening. Please remember to like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. I'm assuming that, like most of our listeners, you'll be listening via Spotify, and we thank you for your continued listenerage over the years and your continued support for this rebrand of our formerly exclusively Power Rangers podcast that we used to run, which we've now transitioned successfully into the Team Venom Pop Culture podcast, so that we can go through all of this.
Oh, just all the nerdery in one place.
Yes. So thank you very much. We're aiming to get these out every Wednesday. Might be a bit later because while we can be very efficient at times, a lot of the times we're very lazy to do when it comes to podcasting.
We're also like married and dads.
Yes.
Life's exhausting, man.
It is. I'm so tired, man. You know, as soon as I get off this recording, I'm genuinely going to bed. You can see from the video, it's bright sunshine still, but I am going to bed.
Yeah.
In fact, for the benefit of the video, I'm going to stand up. Oh, I've got my pajamas on.
Nice.
Well, my pajama bottom. I'm still wearing my Metallica shirt, but yeah, and they are Captain America pajamas because, of course, they are.
Yes, of course they are.
But so if you listen to us on Spotify, this is a video on YouTube. Check it out. Right. Thanks. See ya.
Peace out.